Tonight on Hey Kentucky, Donald Trump starts a trade war. How will it affect the Bluegrass State? Matt Bevin goes after a judge, and John Calipari wants more teams in the NCAA tournament. We're in Pikeville, and we'll talk about it tonight on Hey Kentucky. Welcome, everyone, to Hey Kentucky, sponsored by Wendy's and Sullivan University. Matt Jones and Drew Franklin. We are in Pikeville, Kentucky, and if you can see this background, it is absolutely beautiful here at the Pikeville University campus. Gorgeous and great setting for today's show.
Yeah, very scenic backdrop. One of my favorites. Lovely part of the state.
Thanks to folks here at East Kentucky Broadcasting, where Hey Kentucky airs, for helping us out. And we will get started with some news out of Washington that affects Kentucky. You may have heard President Donald Trump has announced tariffs that will go against Canada, Europe, and China on all sorts of resources, including steel and aluminum. Those countries have now responded and say they will enact tariffs back on other products. Some of those products will include things that are important to Kentucky, one of which is on aluminum, and that will have a big effect on Toyota, the car manufacturing center in Georgetown, and potentially Bevin as well, with tariffs increasing the price worldwide. Now, Drew, I'm sort of anti-tariffs across the board. A lot of people are. Trump is for them. It's going to be interesting. These tariffs will help the new aluminum plant in Ashland that's coming up, Brady Industries. They broke ground today, but could hurt the bourbon industry and the car industry. How do you think it plays out?
Well, you know, bourbon's pretty close to my heart and definitely in the state's heart, and it's been booming lately, especially internationally, creating jobs. It's really got momentum going, and this would kind of pull the rug from underneath what it's got going on.
I mean, I have mixed emotions just when it comes to Kentucky. I think tariffs are generally a bad idea, but we're right at Ashland, Kentucky. Today, Brady Industries is going to break ground on a new aluminum plant that these tariffs are helping, so that's going to help. I do wonder, though, if it's going to be offset. I mean, if the cost of cars goes way up, does that affect Toyota, the bourbon industry? It's going to be a mixed bag, I think.
Yeah, we're in an area struggling for jobs here, specifically where we're standing right now, and anything that could jeopardize that could be a big problem.
So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Most politicians, Democrat and Republican, are against it. Trump's for it. The Canadians and Europeans are against it. We'll see what happens. Now, Matt Bevin is back in the news all the time, this time for going after a judge in Frankfort. There's a lawsuit going on between Attorney General Andy Beshear and Governor Matt Bevin, one of about 750 of those lawsuits. And in it, Matt Bevin asked that one of the judges recuse himself, Judge Philip Shepard. Shepard's been on the bench in Frankfort for a long time, and Bevin accused him of bias and said he would be unable to be fair. In an 8-page opinion, Judge Shepard said that Matt Bevin's claims were ridiculous and that they needed to stop these frivolous claims before the court. Now, Matt Bevin has gone after the judges in Frankfort, really this guy specifically. It was kind of a funny argument. I think you're terrible, so because I've said you're terrible, you can't be fair. It didn't work.
I think his exact words were he called Shepard an incompetent hack, which to me, a little pot kettle there, but that's neither here nor there.
Look at Drew.
Sorry about that, Mr. Bevin. But no, you can't pull this guy off. I mean, you called him the name, deal with it. That's his position.
That's the part that's amazing to me about his position. His position was, I've called you names. You're going to be mad I called you names and used it against me. But rather, if I'm the judge, I just go, then don't call me names. I mean, it's an absolute if that were the case, then every client that ever became before a judge would go, hey, judge, you suck. Now take yourself off my case. You can't do it like that. And the governor's got to be smart enough to know that that's not going to work.
Yeah, no, I really don't think he should be calling anyone an incompetent hack, especially a judge. But, you know, he made that bed. Now go lie in it.
And Judge Shepard is very well respected. Republicans in Frankfort have taken up for him for a long time, including the leader of the House and the Senate. Now, on Monday, we are going to be talking on this show with C. Wesley Morgan. If you watch this show, you know a lot about him. He's the former current representative from Richmond who lost his primary just a couple weeks ago. We're going to be interviewing him. One of the things I'm going to ask about is a report from the Northern Kentucky Tea Party that they are talking with Wesley Morgan about the possibility of potentially running in a primary against Mitch McConnell. Now, you may remember when Wesley Morgan lost his primary in Richmond, he said he was leaving the Republican Party and would do something else because of how bad they've been to him. What do you think about the possibility of C. Wesley versus C. Mitch?
It's weird he just lost out, but now he might go against Mitch, and then you got to throw in there could be some crazy Democratic candidate on the other end. Could be a wild race. I'm getting excited about it.
Let me tell you something. Wesley Morgan stays angry at people. I think the interview on Monday is going to be one that you will want to watch. I'll just leave it at that. I will say this, though. Whether it's C. Wesley Morgan or somebody else, Mitch McConnell is going to be challenged from Republicans in a primary. I think there are as many Republicans that don't like him as Democrats. He'll get a primary.
I'm with you. They're coming for him. There's going to be a lot of people wanting to do that.
Do you think Wesley Morgan is the one?
If he does, his liquor stores will be protected if he wins. I know that much.
I think that's probably true. Trust me, you are going to want to tune in Monday when Mr. Morgan joins us right here. Now, John Calipari is also a guy who likes to say his opinion about things, and he has an opinion about the NCAA tournament. He thinks there should be more teams in it. John Calipari says he believes the tournament should expand from 68, what it is now, to 72. But the 4 teams he would add, he says, need to be mid-majors. He doesn't think there should be any more teams from the major conferences. And if you add 4, you should allow teams like Monmouth, which he said 2 years ago should have gotten in after losing in their conference tournament, but only losing 4 games all season. Do you agree with Cal that we should expand the tournament by 4 teams?
I absolutely agree. For one, I want more basketball. It's a couple more games to watch. And 2, it seems every year there's a team that just dominated their conference, dominated the regular season, and just kind of goofed up in the championship, and they're left sitting at home when you know they're better than a lot of the teams in the field. So it will get them in.
I'm not sure if the NCAA, though, can say only these kinds of teams can get in. If they do it, they're going to expand it to the big conferences too. And if they do that, I'm not for that. I mean, the teams that don't make it from the big conferences are usually like 16 and 14. Drew, I don't think teams like that should be in. So I just don't see a way that the NCAA will do what Cal wants them to do.
I wonder if you could just make it an at-large bid for mid-major, because you're right. These teams that sneak in from the SEC and ACC, they're not winning their games anyway, so they're just taking up space.
I do agree, though. Like when Monmouth didn't get in, a team that goes 29 and 4 but happens to lose in their conference tournament, I think that team should get in. And as we saw from Loyola last year, there's no reason that team can't make a run if they're a good, talented group. They get a good draw, etc. Now, Kentucky fans have wondered for a while, when will we play Indiana again? Well, Indiana AD Fred Glass says talks are underway to potentially renew the Indiana-Kentucky series after next year. He says the goal would be to play half the games in Indianapolis, half in Louisville, and that he hopes it'll get done. Now, Drew, I don't care if it gets done or not. Playing Indiana's might as well like be playing, the Sisters of the Poor. But I will say that the idea of playing them at neutral sites, isn't that what Cal wanted all along?
It is, and I grew up on the Ohio River across from Indiana. I know this rivalry. I've seen it since I was little, but I don't really want it now because Indiana's not any good. We don't get any benefit out of beating Indiana right now.
If you're watching this and you are 45 and older, maybe 50 and older, you want to play Indiana because you remember the games in the 70s and 80s. Bobby Knight, you hated him. They went at each other. But if you're my age and younger, you don't care because, like you said, irrelevant. Indiana hasn't been good. You might as well be talking about playing CCNY.
It's a gift to them. If Indiana beats Kentucky in that series, they talk about it for years. If Kentucky beats Indiana, we're like, yeah, whatever, we're supposed to beat them.
I think that's actually a really good point. This is a series that benefits Indiana much more than it benefits Kentucky. I will say this. If Indiana gets better, then talk to us. But right now we're playing North Carolina, we're playing Duke, we're playing Kansas, we're playing Louisville, and Drew, I'd rather play all those teams.
Yeah, you can't play all them. Someone you'd have to take out to put Indiana in, and I don't see anyone I would do that to.
I don't want to take out North Carolina. I'd rather play North Carolina than Indiana. So Hoosiers, get better. Come see us. Maybe we'll be generous and let you play. But for right now, I don't think it's a very big deal. When we come back, the former governor of Kentucky is from here and still works here in Pikeville. Paul Patton will join us to talk about the state of Kentucky government and what he thinks. That's next here on Hey Kentucky.